When we think about artificial intelligence, we often picture something out of a sci-fi movie. But here's a thought. The next time you're on a plane, the AI is already there. It's your invisible co-pilot. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how this tech is quietly changing everything about flying, from the moment you click buy on a ticket to the moment the wheels touch down.
So let's just start with a really simple question. Who's actually flying your plane? Sure, you've got the pilots up in the cockpit, but behind them is this whole ecosystem of artificial intelligence working away in the background. And we're not just talking about the basic autopilot here. We're talking about a huge network of systems that are making critical decisions about your ticket price, your flight path, you name it.
And this is not some small experimental thing. The market for AI in aviation is expected to hit a massive $4.86 billion by 2030. When you see that kind of money pouring in, you know that airlines aren't just treating this as a nice to have. They see it as absolutely essential for the future.
So what's the best way to think about AI's role here? Well, it's not really about replacing people. It's more about creating a brand new kind of partnership. Let's call it aviation's new co-pilot, an invisible partner that's working alongside the human crew to make every part of your trip better.
Honestly, you could say that AI is becoming the central nervous system for the entire industry. It's constantly crunching these unbelievable amounts of data in real time to make everything run smoother, bring down costs, and, at the end of the day, give all of us a safer, less stressful travel experience.
Let's follow this AI journey right from the start, shall we? From the very first step, booking your flight. Because believe it or not, before you've even started to think about what to pack, you're already interacting with some pretty sophisticated AI.
Have you ever found an absolutely amazing deal on a flight and thought, wow, I got so lucky? Well, it probably wasn't just luck. You were probably looking at dynamic pricing in action. These AI algorithms are working 24/7, sifting through millions of data points, everything from what other airlines are charging to major events happening in your destination city, and they adjust prices instantly. It's a scale of analysis no human team could ever hope to match. And what about if you have a question or need to change something? There's a pretty good chance the person you'll talk to first is an AI-powered chatbot. These things are incredible. They offer support around the clock, give you instant updates on your flight, and can even handle multiple languages, which just makes the whole process so much easier for everybody. And the impact? It's staggering. An airline like Indigo reported a 75% drop in the workload for their human customer service agents, all thanks to these AI tools. So you see, this is way more than just a little convenience. It's completely changing how airlines run their business. Okay, so you've got your ticket. Now it's time to head to the airport. And this is where AI is starting to tackle some of our biggest travel pet peeves: the endless lines, the confusing steps, and just all that waiting. You can really see the difference here, can't you? It's a total night and day comparison. The old way had us fumbling around for paper tickets and passports. The new way? A quick facial scan and you're on your way. Those super long security lines are becoming hands-free identity checks. And that awful feeling of not knowing where your bag is, that's being replaced with things like automated damage detection and real-time bag tracking on your phone. And I really want to make this clear. This isn't science fiction. This isn't some maybe in 10 years kind of thing. Major hubs like JFK, LAX, Schiphol in Amsterdam, and London Heathrow are already using this exact kind of biometric tech. It's happening right now, making the airport experience way, way smoother. So we've seen how AI is changing things for us, the passengers. But its biggest impact might just be behind the scenes, in the operations that are all about safety and efficiency. This is where AI is a complete game changer. Okay, one of the coolest and most important uses is something called predictive maintenance. It's a huge deal. Instead of just fixing a part when it breaks, AI is constantly listening to the plane. It analyzes data from thousands of sensors, checking vibrations, temperatures, pressure, to predict when a part is going to fail before it actually does. We're moving from being reactive to being proactive, and that's massive for safety. And the process itself is actually pretty logical. First, the AI gathers all that real-time data from the engines and other parts. Then it looks for tiny patterns that usually show up right before something breaks. Based on that, the system can predict a window of time when that part will probably fail. And that means the airline can schedule the repair ahead of time, avoiding those sudden disruptive delays. And the results? They really do speak for themselves. Airlines that use this tech are seeing up to a 35% reduction in unscheduled maintenance. That means fewer delays, safer planes, and just a more reliable trip for you and me.
But it doesn't stop there. AI is also busy optimizing flight paths to cut down on fuel burn. I mean, just look at Delta. They've cut their CO2 emissions by 2.5 million metric tons a year with this stuff. It also helps solve the crazy puzzle of crew scheduling and even helps manage air traffic by spotting potential congestion long before it becomes a problem.
The effects on air traffic controllers is especially powerful. These AI systems can slash their workload by as much as 70% just by handling the more routine, repetitive tasks. This is absolutely critical because it frees up the human controllers to use their expertise and focus on the really complex, high-stakes decisions, especially when the skies get crowded. So, with all of this amazing progress, what's next? What does the future of flight look like? Well, it's not just about piling on more tech. It's also about working through some really tough challenges, asking some big ethical questions, and figuring out how to handle all this incredible potential.
But yeah, it's not all clear skies ahead. A really interesting survey from the European Union Aviation Safety Agency found that a lot of aviation professionals themselves have some pretty serious concerns. They're worried about performance, about data privacy, and about that huge question: when something goes wrong, who's accountable?
And these are the big hurdles the entire industry is trying to clear right now. I mean, how do you certify an AI system that's always learning and changing? How do you guarantee our data is safe? When a human and an AI work together, who's ultimately responsible for the outcome? And maybe the biggest one of all, what's that perfect balance between helpful automation and essential human judgment? Which brings us to a really important point. At least for now, the goal isn't to take humans out of the cockpit. It's to give them more powerful tools to work with. There's a system from MIT called Air Guardian, for example, that's designed to be an AI co-pilot that watches the pilot's attention levels and helps back up their judgment, not just replace it. And that leaves us with this one final, really big question to think about for the future. As these AI systems get smarter and more capable every single year, what are the decisions, the gut calls, the moments of pure human intuition that we should always leave in the hands of a human pilot? The answer to that is going to define the next 100 years of flying.